Attention. Patching in a local broadcast from the Sunbeam.
I don't believe it. There's someone down there.
Yeah, that's me.
Aurora, survivor.
Yeah.
We have your PDA signature.
Good.
I don't know how you walked away from that wreck, let alone survived since then.
Because I'm awesome.
We'll be happy to bring you on board and hightail back to Federation space. Stand back. We're approaching the landing site now. Breaking atmosphere in 5, 4, 3... What is that? No, the red spike. From this planet?
Hey everybody, Cougar here, back with more of our Beginner's Quick Start Guide for the amazing underwater survival game, Subnautica. We've been working our way through the new precursor content. We have received communications from the rescue ship Sunbeam. It is on its way to pick us up. That's great news. Before we're going to continue with some scavenging and crafting activities. Before we do that, I wanted to take you over to the Sea Lab and show you something real quick, because I don't think I've ever mentioned this before, and it's a useful bit of info to have. So over here we've got our little beginner base. It's not much of a base at this point, but it's getting there. And if I take you down to the multi-purpose room, you see I've got some edible plants growing. I picked up those samples out at the floating island. Over here I've built a bench. I'm sitting on the bench. Now, isn't that useful? You'll say that's not really useful, but if you look at my food and water displays on the HUD there, they're not going down. So when you're sitting, you're not losing food or water, which means you can pull up your PDA, you can go over your voice logs, you can look at your data bank, read through your encyclopedia entries, read through the PDA information that you've picked up scavenging other life pods and stuff like that. And it's just a useful tidbit to know that you can sit on those benches and not lose any food or water as long as you're sitting. Let me cut one of those marble melons as long as we're here. I need to plant some more of those. Alright, they're planted. Now, so we're just basically killing time until we get another message from the Sunbeam. I can play you the message, the last message we received from them.
Sunbeam, broadcasting to all survivors of the Aurora. We've covered more than half the distance, so hold on in there. We're scanning the planet for dry land as we speak. You couldn't have picked a less convenient parking spot. But we'll be in touch as soon as we have a landing site for you. Sunbeam out.
Yeah, we didn't park, dude. We crashed. That's different. Alright, so the Sunbeam's heading for us. We're waiting for another communication to let us know when they're getting close enough that we can start thinking about moving toward the rendezvous site. Until we get that message, we are going to just continue our scavenging activities. We are looking for a final Seamoth fragment. We've got 2 of the 3 Seamoth fragments that we need.
Emergency. 10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
So we're going to be keeping our eyes out for that 3rd fragment. We're going to move over here toward the Life Pod 4 signal. We have built, pull up my inventory real quick, show you that we've built the radiation suit. Radiation suit comes in 3 pieces. The suit, the helmet, and the gloves. You have to be wearing all 3 pieces to be protected from the radiation. But for now, let's just keep moving up. Ooh, there's something. That looks like a Seamoth fragment down there. Guarded by a sand shark. Let's see if he goes away. We can dart in there and scan that. That would be our 3rd piece. It is. Waboom! Alright. Well, we can...
30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
We can build the Seamoth now. We could head back and start doing that. As long as we're over here near the front of the Aurora, let's just see if there's anything else interesting over here. There is a beautiful reef back. Aren't they gorgeous? They were always gorgeous, but now that they've actually got the reefs on their backs, aren't they just amazing? One thing I can point out here, these barnacles, you can break those. Eventually they will have materials in them, notably silver, but for right now, there's nothing in there. Wow, that was lucky, just kind of stumbling across that last Seamoth fragment like that, wasn't it? Wonder what else is over here. Oh, we just got a new message. That may be the message that we've been waiting for. Let's head right back to the pod.
Caution, 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
That solves that problem. I was wondering, do we just keep looking around for the Seamoth fragments, or do we actually head over to the Aurora? Because we know for a fact that there are a couple of Seamoth fragments in the Aurora. And we've got the radiation suit. The only thing that we wouldn't have in terms of prep for going over to the Aurora is the propulsion cannon. We have a repair tool, we have a laser cutter, we have the radiation suit. So we could go over there as soon as we have the propulsion cannon. You need the propulsion cannon before you go over to the Aurora, because there is debris blocking the entrances to the Aurora that you need the propulsion cannon to move out of the way. But we have not found any propulsion cannon fragments yet. In this build, though, propulsion cannon fragments are everywhere. You can find them like at all the wrecks, and scattered around at random locations on the seafloor. So I wouldn't be concerned. If we had to go over there, we could do it fairly easily, I would assume. But now we don't have to. Alright, let's check our new message. Let's get rid of this beeping first.
Playing message.
Aurora, it's Sunbeam. We've made orbit, and scans have found a landing site on the planet that's only rated hazardous. It's our best shot. We've sent you the coordinates. We'll be there in 2 days' time. Cross your fingers, the weather holds. And don't leave us waiting. Sunbeam out.
Alright, well that is the communication that we have been waiting for. That communication gave us an indicator for the Sunbeam landing site. That's over at the mountain island. We've already been over there. And it gave us a timer in the upper right-hand corner counting down to when the Sunbeam will arrive. Now that doesn't look like a lot of time right now, but it is. We probably don't have to worry about actually heading over there until that gets around the 5 to 3 minute mark. We could get there from here in less than 3 minutes right now if we started moving there. So you'd have to be on the other side of the map for it to take more than maybe 5 minutes.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
To get over to that. I just wanted to, as long as we're near the pod, grab some more food. I'm running a little low on food. And for water, we go to the Bulbo tree. Bulbo tree gives us plus 10 water. So I can take a couple of swipes off of that. Oh, maybe one more. And now we're good to go. I would plant... Are these used? See, these marble melons aren't ready to be harvested yet, so we can't do anything with those. Alright, so again, we're just killing 38 minutes and 20 seconds until we can head over there and get picked up by the Sunbeam. In the meantime, we can build a Seamoth. So to do that, we need a mobile vehicle bay, which we have here: titanium ingot, lubricant, and power cell. We should be able to get those without too much trouble. For lubricant, we need creepvine seeds. That's a stalker who saw me and wants me but can't have me.
Caution, 30 seconds of oxygen
There are some
remaining.
seeds. Pick up as many of those as we can fit in our inventory. We're gonna need more lubricant later.
Emergency, 10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Do we also need lubricant for the Seamoth? I forget. Yeah, so we need to make 2 lubricant here. I think each lubricant requires 3 creepvine seeds. So let's see if we have enough. Yes, we do. We have enough for 2 lubricants and a silicone rubber. We'll need the silicone rubber to make our power cell. Speaking of which, we can be keeping an eye out for limestone outcroppings because we're going to need some copper for our batteries, for our power cell. There's some copper. You know, since we're not going to Life Pod 4 right now, well, I can't empty it right now. I was going to take the signal out of my slot, but there's no room for it right now. Alright, slam out a couple of lubricants here. 3-time creepvine seed clusters. Oops, I accidentally clicked. And a silicone rubber from the leftover creepvine seeds. Now we need a titanium ingot, which I do not believe we have or even have enough. No, we don't. Dump some of this stuff. Oh, we got plenty of copper. So we'll need 2 copper to make batteries, to make... We can do that. Let's do that right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make 2 batteries. Grab the silicone rubber that I just dumped in the locker here to make a power cell. And the last thing we need is titanium ingot, which is laughably easy to obtain. We just need 10 pieces of titanium. Watch, because I said it's laughably easy to obtain, we won't find any titanium. It'll be impossible. But we are 1/3 of the way there. 2/3 of the way there. And we're good to go. Each piece of metal salvage gives us 4 titanium, so we are carrying 12 titanium right now. We only need 10 to make the ingot. Now for something like this, what I call spam crafting, which is just, you know, crap crafting a bunch of stuff all at once, I like to use the life pod for this, just so it doesn't run down the power cells in my base in case I need those after the sun goes down, because right now all I have are solar panels powering my base. So let's take advantage of the built-in solar panels here on the life pod and do this crafting over here. Alright, we have everything we need to go to deployables and make our mobile vehicle bay. That's titanium ingot, lubricant, and power cell. This takes up a lot of room in our inventory, so let's go outside and release it right away. A little tip here. When you go to release your bay, you want to look for a place where it gets fairly deep, because if you're going to build a Cyclops off of this same bay, it's going to need some place to fall down into the water, like here. So let's go ahead and equip the mobile vehicle bay to one of our hotbar slots, pull up that hotbar slot, right-click to release, and you see it's kind of twisted in the wrong direction. If we bump into it, we should be able to rotate it around so that it's facing a more agreeable direction for us. You can pick it back up and place it again, but it's hard to tell where it's going to end up. That should work just fine. We can see it from our life pod, so it's not too far away. Alright, now what did we need for the Seamoth again? Ingot, power cell, glass ×2, and lubricant. All that again, pretty easy. We have the lubricant. Need a little bit more titanium. Need to make 2 more batteries. We're going to need silicone rubber for the second power cell, which means we need more creepvine seed clusters. Hey, Stalker. How's it going? Now, some of you may be wondering, why don't you build a second oxygen tank so that you have more oxygen? This is a personal preference. Until I get...
Caution, 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Until I get the Seamoth, I am slow and I am vulnerable to predators. So, in order to mitigate that, I try to...
Emergency, 10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Yeah. Carrying a second oxygen tank slows you down. Until I have the Seamoth, I want to be as fast and maneuverable as possible. One, to get from point A to point B as quickly as possible. And two, to be as maneuverable as possible when it comes to outmaneuvering predators. Lubricant? Oh no, we don't need lubricant. We need silicone rubber. That's right, we should have enough. Yeah, we do. And we probably haven't. We must have an extra creepvine seed that we don't need, so I'm just going to drop it out here outside the base. Yeah, taking up too much room. Alright, we have plenty of copper. We need some more acid mushrooms. We're going to need glass, which I think we have tons of in here. Yeah, we got a couple of glass already. We've got a couple of copper for our batteries. Electronics, batteries. Power cell, since we already have silicone rubber. And now we just need titanium, right? Let's dump off this. We picked up an extra lubricant here that we're not going to need. Get rid of that. Alright. Now we just need some more titanium. We're good to go. I've already been over this way, haven't I? Is there anything to scan? Yeah, I can scan that and pick up 2 titanium by scanning something that we already have the blueprint for, so let's do that. We do have our flashlight in case we need it. Boink. A couple more. Actually, I only need 1 more. I had 2 titanium anyway. Boom.
Emergency, 10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Now, it's nighttime, and I only have solar cells on my base, so let's use the life pod fabricator. Oh, there's another message.
Playing message.
Officer Keene. This is Second Officer Keene broadcasting to all surviving Aurora crew. Captain Hollister is gone. I have assumed command. Scans say there's dry land 750 meters south of the crash site. Your orders are to stay together, ensure your immediate safety, and then regroup at the rendezvous point. Good luck. This message will now repeat. Warning, rendezvous coordinates corrupted, downloading transmission origin coordinates. So, the dry land 750 meters south is the floating island, which we've already been to, so we know what that's about. But they gave us a signal, did they not, to... No, they didn't. No, okay. Fabricator, stop beeping, please. I have too many life health packs already. Alright, do we have everything we need for the Sea Glide? Oh, just lubricant, which is back at the Sea Lab. So yeah, it's in terms of why don't I have another air tank, it's because it slows you down. And once you get the Seamoth, once you get to the Seamoth, that's not really an issue anymore, right? But until you have it, I want to be as fast and maneuverable as possible so that I can get from point A to point B quickly and so that I can outmaneuver the predators. That's why I only carry one. I'm only carrying 1 oxygen tank at this point. Once I get the Seamoth, I will carry 2 and maybe even put a third one in the storage of the Seamoth in case I need that one for some very deep exploration. Here's our mobile vehicle bay out here. Oh, I picked it up. I don't want to pick you up, I want to get on you. It's not giving me the climb. There we go. And build me a Seamoth. While the Seamoth submersible is a fast, safe mode as transport, try to continue to meet your recommended weekly exercise quotient. Swimming is fantastic for your glutes and endorphin levels. Yes, swimming is fantastic, but so is the Seamoth. The Seamoth is fantastic.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Thank you! Alright, kids, we have a Seamoth. This opens up whole new realms of possibility for us. Before we get too far away from our base, let's grab a little bit more food and water. Alright. Those are dessert. Let's have a marble melon. Delicious. A couple of pieces of lantern fruit to go with it. Maybe a potato on the side. And some bulbo tree for water. Let's have one more bulbo tree. Let's not eat that right this second because we don't want to throw up. If you eat stuff really quickly, you can throw up. Alright, we're up to 100% health, food and water. We were exploring toward Life Pod 4 for no other reason than to see what's there and be able to get rid of that signal. Put that signal in a locker and not have it blinking anymore. So let's continue with that now that we have the Seamoth. Let's head back toward that life pod signal. Otherwise, we're just keeping an eye on the timer in the upper right-hand corner. We want to allow maybe 5 minutes or so to get out to... Anything interesting here? To get out to the rendezvous site. But we won't start worrying about that until we get much closer to the time. The rendezvous time. So we're heading over toward the nose of the Aurora. Let's see what kind of interesting stuff is over here. I don't see anything. Just FYI, the lights on the Seamoth do drain your battery. So if you're going to be parking your Seamoth for any extended period of time, hello Jelly Ray, you want to make sure that the lights are off so that it doesn't drain the battery. You come back to a dead Seamoth. Just like driving a car. This is a little mini mushroom forest here toward the nose of the Aurora. It's not the mushroom forest. I'm going to pick up some lithium as long as I'm here. You can never have too much lithium. You're going to need a lot of lithium, especially if you want to build a big base, because you're going to need it for reinforcement. And one other thing that I haven't really mentioned so far is these eggs, creature eggs lying around. You can pick up these eggs and put them in an alien containment tank, and they will hatch, and you can have little pet creatures. There are jelly ray eggs, there are reefback eggs,
Caution.
there are...
Passing safe depth.
Okay. That's a fragment. Let me grab this. That's a Cyclops hull fragment. So, one reason that you might want to consider heading to the Aurora quickly, or we might want to consider it, is that you can pick up a Seamoth depth module already built. There's a fragment. Already built on board the Aurora. And being able to go down to 300 meters
New blueprint acquired.
is a big deal. The difference between 200 and 300 meters is a big deal in terms of where a lot of these wrecks, how deep the wrecks are, and that kind of thing. Down to 20 minutes on the counter. Alright, we're pretty deep. I think I should go back for the Seamoth.
Caution.
I was going
30
to
seconds of
swim
oxygen
over to that
remaining.
vent and check it out, but we are so deep. We're 200 meters deep. It would take us forever to get back up to the surface, I think.
Emergency. 10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
We need to keep our Seamoth close when we're this deep with only one oxygen tank. That thermal vent. Ow, sorry, spadefish.
Maximum depth reached. Hull
Yeah.
damage imminent.
Oh, there's another message for us back at the Aurora, back at the life pod. Oh, there's a fragment. That is a Cyclops hull fragment. Oh, I see. That is an underwater thermal underground thermal vent. We can't actually get in there from here. We would have to find another entrance to a cave system that takes us to that thermal vent. It's probably right around here, but that's not really on the agenda today. You can look for that yourself. There's another fragment. There's 2 more fragments. Bunch of Cyclops fragments here. We've already taken a fair amount of damage to the Cyclops. Let's equip our repair tool and give this a touch-up. You can find the sweet spot. Alright. Scan these. These are more Cyclops fragments. There's a bridge fragment, another hull fragment. To have. What else do we see around here?
Caution. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
More lithium. I mean, we could fill up our whole inventory with lithium here. That's not on the agenda either. Let's see if we can find a wreck to look at in the time we have remaining before the Sunbeam arrives. I'm gonna have to take us up to the surface to get my bearings. I'm not sure how close we are to. I bet there's a wreck right there. All right, let's check out this wreck. Ah, the second part of my still suit fragment. Excellent. I can make a new still suit.
New blueprint acquired.
I still need the radiation suit at this point until I get into all the still suit fragments are in here. That bleeder's gonna want me. Stay away from me, bleeder. Ow! I said stay away! Okay, so all the still suit fragments are in this wreck. It's good to know. There's another plant pot. Yeah. We already have that plant
New
pot.
blueprint acquired.
Picture frame
Caution. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
and light stick. I think we're gonna have to come back to this light stick.
New
It's gonna be close.
acquired. Emergency. 10 seconds of oxygen
Alright,
remaining.
fine. Ow, bleeder, knock it off. Or biter. I'm calling them bleeders. They're not bleeders, they're biters. Wall-mounted plant shelf. Big deal. But nice to have.
New blueprint acquired.
All the still suit fragments. And I needed a laser cutter to get through here. I said laser cutter.
Caution, 30 seconds.
Yeah, a little
of
personal
oxygen
tip. You definitely
remaining.
want to keep your eye on your oxygen as you're cutting these doors, because it's very tempting to just stick with the cutting until you get through, regardless of where your oxygen is. Yeah, those biters are annoying, but they're not going to kill you. Propulsion cannon fragment. We'll need that before we head over to the Aurora. Be great to have another one so that we have the entire blueprint. Can I get in here? Oh, I bet there's another fragment in there. It's just a little wonky getting through this wreckage. I can't get around to the other side to scan it. Well, that's not useful, guys. Why would you do that?
Caution, 30 seconds.
Why
of
would you put
oxygen
that there
remaining.
if you can't scan it? Alright, do not want to do that with this little oxygen. In fact, for exploring wrecks in general, you probably want 2 air tanks, which we do not have right now.
Emergency.
But
10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
now that we have the Seamoth, now it is much more viable to be wearing 2 tanks. Oh, there's a bunch of stuff here. Ah, there's another prop cannon fragment. Alright, we got the propulsion cannon. Here's a vehicle upgrade console fragment. You build the vehicle upgrade console in the moon pool. We don't have the moon pool yet. Moon pool is where you dock your Seamoth. We don't need that. Yeah, let's not... I would like to have another air tank before I go in and explore the rest of this wreck.
Caution, 30 seconds of oxygen remaining. Emergency, 10 seconds
Now that
of
we've
oxygen
got
remaining.
2... Oh, shit. I don't know if we're going to make it back to the Seamoth. I don't know if we're going to make it to the fucking surface. Oh my god, are you serious? Oh, son of a... Well, that happens.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Yeah, that kind of blows. I hadn't picked up any good stuff, so we didn't lose too much there. I apologize for that. That's kind of embarrassing. That doesn't happen to me that often, but it certainly happened to me there. And now we have a long swim back to retrieve our Seamoth. Alright, so what happened there was I kind of misremembered where I had parked my Seamoth. I thought it was right at the back of that wreck, but it was off to the side a little bit. By the time I realized how little oxygen we had, it was too late to do anything about it. Oh well, these things happen. Yeah, there's definitely more stuff in there to check out. But again, let's wait until we have another oxygen tank before doing that for real. Well, we have more stuff that we can build now. We can make the propulsion cannon. We can make the still suit. We don't really need the still suit until we get into the Aurora and repair the engine core breaches there, because we're going to be needing this radiation suit for anything even remotely close to the Aurora. I'm heading back over toward where that life pod was, just to see if there are any more fragments. Half a wreck here. I don't think there's going to be anything good in here. Yeah, these debris fields don't often have good stuff. They may at some point, but you see right now all these cargo boxes are empty. So let's keep moving this way. back under the little mushroom forest. There's another fragment. Bridge fragment. Alright, that's 2 bridge fragments, 2 of 3. Engine fragments, if anyone's looking for those, we can probably find out by the mountain island. Thought I saw something there. Now we are getting into Reaper territory here, so we want to stay somewhat close to the seabed. Oh, there's a fragment. Bridge fragment. Alright, that's 3 of 3 bridge fragments.
New blueprint acquired.
We need 1 more hull fragment, which may be right there. No, that's a bridge fragment. Alright, we don't need that. Need 1 more hull fragment and all the engine fragments. We don't have any engine fragments, I don't believe.
Caution. Passing safe depth.
Yep. Alright, Sunbeam will arrive in less than 9 minutes. This is definitely Reaper territory where we are right now. There's a bone shark down there.
Warning. Maximum depth reached. Hull damage imminent.
Alright. Alright, well, again, that's another good reason to head over to the Aurora. We've got that. There is a already built Seamoth depth module in one of the repair bays in the Aurora. So heading over there, grabbing that would be a thing to do. There's a propulsion cannon fragment. We don't need that anymore. Another propulsion cannon fragment. Looks like there are a bunch of them around here. Some loot boxes. Let's check these out. Yeah, more first aid kits. Like, we need more of those. Water we do need. I'll take some of that. There's a loot box in there. Water. Alright, let's not do anything stupid this time. Let's start heading back to our Seamoth right now.
Caution. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
I may not have gotten every last loot box in there, but the stuff we were getting out of there is only moderately useful, so don't worry too much about it. Ow, sorry. More water. Alright, we are swimming in water. Ha ha ha. Alright, we got about 6 minutes left. Since we have the Seamoth, we know it's only going to take like 30 seconds for there's another propulsion cannon fragment. As I was saying, they're everywhere now in this build. Alright, well, we don't want to miss anything, and there may be some stuff for us to do over at the landing site. Anyway, so why don't we just start heading over there right now? Sun's coming up. See, we're heading right toward the mountain island, but you can see it's shrouded in fog until we get a bit closer. There it is. Take her down. I want to be looking around for Cyclops engine fragments as long as we're here. We're also getting into Reaper territory here, so again, we're going to want to stay close to the wall or the seafloor here. Oh, scrap metal, scrap metal, scrap metal. See, it literally took us 30 seconds to get over here in the Seamoth, so don't feel like you have to... Oh, there's a Cyclops engine fragment. There's another fragment over there. That may also be engine. Yeah, biter is wanting to bite us. Yeah, that's another engine fragment. Alright, come here. Are they coming for me? No. Alright, hey, that's 2 of 3 engine fragments. And there's the third one right there. Alright, we're only missing 1 fragment now?
New blueprint acquired.
Do I have the entire thing now?
30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
No, okay, so we have the engine. Oh, we do. We have the bridge, the engine, and the hull? I thought we still needed 1 hull piece.
Emergency. 10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Well, I believe that blueprint is unlocked now. And here we are at basically at the landing site. We're back around to the precursor facility here. Let's go down as deep as we can and see what's down here. That's a Reaper. No, that's a bone shark, sorry. Cool little underground cave network here. Some pretty plants.
Caution. Passing safe depth.
Okay. Got uranite crystals. Those are the green crystals that you see on the walls here. Right there, that's uranite. We have no use for that right now. You can eventually use it to power a nuclear reactor. 3 uranite crystals will make 1 piece of uranium. And then you use that uranium to make a power rod, a nuclear rod, that goes in your nuclear power plant. Alright, 90 seconds until the Sunbeam arrives. Let's find us a good vantage point to flag them down. Running a little low on food here. Let's see if we can...
Calorie deficiency.
As I was saying,
detected.
let's eat up some bulbo tree to take the edge off our hunger.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Yeah, bulbo trees don't give you that much food, but they do give you plenty of water, because we needed water, because we only had 6 of them in our inventory. Alright. Kind of on the wrong side here. Let's see if we can get to the other side real quick. I think we'll have a better view from the other side. 30 seconds. Hurry, 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 Seamoth. Faster, faster. Whoa, what's that? Whoa, whoa, this gun's moving. This thing's moving. That can't be good. That cannot be good. Can we make it to land?
Attention. Patching in a local broadcast from the Sunbeam.
I don't believe it. There's someone down there.
Yeah, that's me.
Aurora, survivor.
Yeah.
We have your PDA signature.
Good.
I don't know how you walked away from that wreck, let alone survived since then.
Because I'm awesome.
We'll be happy to bring you on board and hightail back to Federation space. Stand back. We're approaching the landing site now. Breaking atmosphere in 5, 4, 3... What is that? No, the red spike. From the planet?
Oh, that's bad. Yeah, that's very bad. Guys, I don't think we're getting rescued. Nope, not getting rescued. I don't think there are any survivors. I don't see any life pods. Just falling, burning debris. Alright, well, so much for that. I guess it's just up to us to continue trying to survive here. As long as we can. And guys, that basically does it for the new precursor content. There is another base deep, deep underwater. It is going to take us quite a bit of time and preparation to get fitted out for going down to that next base. And the truth is that right now, that base is not finished. And there's nothing to do there except look at it. So we have seen basically all there is to see of this new content. We went inside this precursor facility here. We were told once we were in there that we were infected with the Karar virus. It told us about that other facility deep underwater. We got some signals from the Sunbeam telling us it was on its way to pick us up and rescue us. That did not work out so well. So now we're just kind of stuck here. Our next thing on the agenda would probably be heading over to the Aurora and taking care of the black matter energy leaks in there, and checking out the rest of the wrecks to recover whatever goodies we can recover from there.